Suterman Show on 1630 KCJJ.
And it's brought to you today, as always, by our friends at Premier Automobile in North Liberty, Hawkeye Title and Settlement, Mike Slack and E-Keys for Cars, Supple Siding and Remodeling, 1-800-800-ROSE, and Big Dog Satellite and Internet. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Suter and Pat Hardy this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing okay. Not, it's kind of a gloomy day in more ways than one.
It is. It is indeed.
Yeah, the weather's very appropriate.
It is. So, yeah, Hawkeye Nation took a big hit. Kenny Arnold passing away. Was it this morning? At
4:19 this morning.
Yeah.
Tree said he passed away peacefully with friends and family by his side. Especially Tree was right there as always. And do we have Mike on, or is he calling?
He's calling him right now.
We're going to have Mike on. Yeah, it's just, you knew this day was coming probably sooner than later, but it still doesn't make it any easier. I got a text. Tree reached out to me 2 days ago, letting me know that Kenny was not doing well and didn't have long, but they wanted to keep it private while they got a hold of family and teammates and what have you. But yeah, then this morning at 4:19.
Good morning, Mike.
Hello, how are you guys?
Oh, Tree. Obviously you know more than any of us do. You knew in the back of your mind that this day was coming, but still, just how just put into words like you can do so well what it means to lose your friend. You were his guardian angel, Mike.
Yeah, it's hard. My emotions are all over the place, as you can imagine. I've obviously known this was coming for a while now, and you think you're prepared, but, the reality is always different. And, 1 minute I'm fine and smiling, thinking of good memories, and next minute, immensely sad, wondering how I'm going to fill that hole in my life, not having my buddy around. But, he fought the great fight. I got to tell everybody that, and fought till the end. We didn't think he was going to make it, really past maybe Tuesday. He kept fighting and fighting, and every time we thought he was gone, he held on. And, I'm just glad he's at peace now. It was time. I hate losing him, but for his sake, it was time.
So, Mike, when did he take a step for the worse? And when kind of the last couple of weeks, or was this just a slow and gradual decline? What happened?
It's been slow. Kind of what happened. We actually were finally able to get him moved to a new nursing home, and they took great care of him. But he's lost most of his upper body muscle mass, and his right shoulder was just popping out of place, dislocating and everything. And because of that, we had to stop the treatments at Athletico. We've been taking him there, which was working great, and he had gotten the strength back in his legs some, which helped ease the pain a lot. But, the downside with his shoulder popping out, he just couldn't handle the travel. So once we weren't doing that, he lost that, muscle mass in his leg again, and the pain was just excruciating the last few weeks. And I think his body just started shutting down. It just got too intense. But, even his legs this past Monday, he was really alert and everything was, fairly normal other than the pain. And then I went back to see him Wednesday, and he basically was unconscious and never really regained, full conscious. I think he could hear us and talking and everything. But, it was really, the end was pretty sudden. And, kind of a surprise there. I guess there's no way to know what, the end is going to be. But the end was pretty quick. And, we were able to get him in hospice care starting Wednesday night, so at least he was comfortable and everything, and, died peacefully this morning. And just happy I was able to be with him. I was able to stay, overnight in the room with him and, just be there for him and, get some quality time with him in the end. And like I say, he fought to the end, but he's in a better place now.
Mike, I was thinking after you reached out to me the other day to kind of give me a heads up of what was going on. Kenny's life, it had the ultimate highs and the ultimate lows when you think about it. His first 22 years of his life, 23, 24 years of his life, well, at least, I don't know about his early, but you know what I mean. He reached such a high, and then boom, just like that. He's in his, early to mid-20s, and then this happens.
Early 20s, yeah.
It just...
No, you're right about that. And I talked about it, even asking, so how do you handle that? And, because he never complained about anything, no matter how bad, his health got, how much pain he was in and whatever. And I think I told the story once before, on one of the shows. But, I remember Vince Perkins had come in to visit him, and we were talking, and he asked us how we were doing, and, we were complaining about, some little normal day-to-day stuff, and he just grabbed our hands and said a prayer for us, We're like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be cheering you up, and he looked at us and just laughed, and we go, how do you handle this, Kenny? How do you stay so upbeat and everything, after what you're going through? And, he just said, he had such a strong faith in God. God gave him that challenge because he could handle it and we couldn't. Like, wow, he didn't want us suffering. And that's just the way he lived life. He had a strong faith, and, it was never why me, feel sorry for himself or anything. And, it was like that to the end. I think, at the end, the pain was pretty bad, and he tried not to be a burden even then. And, I was glad we were able to get us some comfort, through hospice care with the medication and everything. But he fought hard all the way up to the end. And, it was just time for him to go, and I'm glad he's in a better place now.
Now, Mike, I think I saw the other day that you had a fundraiser for Kenny planned for next weekend. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. We're doing a benefit game, basketball game in Mason City. As of right now, it's still on. I'm trying to check with Kenny's family, to see when the services will be. And we're hoping we can, if it's, during the week, we'll still keep the game going. Hope to know something later today or, tomorrow at the latest, just for planning sake. But as of right now, we're still going to do the game. We have a lot of the former players coming back to that, and be kind of more of a fun game and real competitive. But we're playing against some of the former Mason City High School players, and it's another fundraiser for the foundation, and raise awareness for cancer research. And we want to keep doing those things, in Kenny's name.
That's
all
cool.
those projects we've been working on, and keep doing that.
I was going to ask you that. I think that's a great way to carry on the Kenny Arnold legacy and what have you. To be honest with you, it'd be neat if the University of Iowa would do something. And I'm not sure what exactly, but endow a scholar. I don't know. Something I think would be really neat to recognize Kenny. And Mike, I had some people reach out to me on social media. Sometimes I forget how old we are. They're younger.
Yeah.
This guy's in his early 30s. He goes, I've never seen him play. You don't see a lot of video from. He goes, describe to our younger listeners, people who never saw him, what kind of player was Kenny Arnold in his heyday? What was he like?
Yeah, well, he's just a really steady, solid player. He wasn't flashy, and I teased him. I remember probably sometime last year I was down visiting him, and we pulled up the Louisville game from the Final Four and watched that. And he watched it like we were still studying film and hoping for a better outcome. But even I was surprised. I just tell him like just how good he is because he was so smooth. You really didn't realize until you looked at the box score and the scoreboard and saw he always won and, just filled up the stat sheet. But he didn't make mistakes. He was really clutch. And, I think, his value was shown, the year we went to the Final Four after Ronnie got hurt, he just moved seamlessly to the point and just ran the show. We didn't miss a beat. And, that's obviously saying a lot, taking over from Ronnie Lester, probably the greatest player ever at Iowa. He just rolled behind him and just the ultimate leader and competitor.
I was just going to say what I remember of him as a player was exactly that, his versatility. And, he just moved right in to take Ronnie's place. And he was just a fabulous basketball player, and it was so much fun to watch him play. And
well, he was the perfect complement for Ronnie, it seems like. They just – and, Mike, I just regret, and I know Iowa fans do, you regret that Ronnie wasn't healthy down there. It was unfortunate that Ronnie and Kenny didn't have – those 2 full years to play together because what they could have done together because Kenny was such a compliment to Ronnie.
No, I totally agree. They were dynamic. Like there was nothing they couldn't do. They could, interchange, who was the point, who was the shooting guard, seamlessly. Both tremendous ball handlers, great defensive players, and great leaders. And, to this day, we still, nothing against Louisville. We still feel like we could have beat him if he had stayed healthy, Ronnie had stayed healthy. And, we had a shot at a national championship, had they stayed healthy. And, he was just a great, great player and, rose to any challenge there was and, put everybody else at ease.
And, it would have been easy for him to be jealous of Ronnie, but just from the way you guys have described Kenny and the way he fought through this, Kenny, it doesn't seem like that was even in Kenny's character. He was so comfortable and assured of himself, he didn't worry about it. Seems like Kenny had such a real high self-esteem, he didn't let petty things like jealousy. And do you think that's true, and that's why he and Ronnie, partly why they played so well?
No, Kenny, like we all have an ego, but Kenny really didn't have an ego. It was all about winning. I think that's, really that whole team was like, that Final Four team was like that. Nobody cared who scored points or whose name was in the, newspaper or anything like that. It was just, what do I need to do to help us win? And, Kenny always stepped up and provided whatever it is, ball handling, scoring, leadership, whatever the case may be. And, he really was the most unassuming person there was. He didn't really care about the spotlight or anything like that. And, Ronnie was the same way, the superstar that he was, he was all about the team and, how he could help us. And I think all the guys were like that, and that's what made us successful.
Mike, I was getting ready to ask this question. I realized how tough this question is. What do you think Kenny would have been or done had this not happened? I mean, this took away his chance to kind of set his course in life after basketball. What do you think he would have done? What was his interest?
Well, you know what? I think first and foremost, he had a great shot to go to the NBA.
Yes,
I don't know if a lot of people realize, but he was drafted by Dallas and was really their last cut, and he should have made the team. They had 4 veteran guards with guaranteed contracts, and they didn't want to have to cut somebody and pay him and keep Kenny. That was the days before Mark Cuban and the big money. And they'd actually asked him to come back the next year and basically guaranteed him he'd make the team. And so he would have been playing in the NBA for sure. Mm-hmm. And, unfortunately got sick, in that ensuing year and never got the chance to do that. I know he liked working with kids. As he was recovering from the brain surgery, he worked for the Chicago Park District, I think for a year or so, and the school system, trying to teach, but, his health just didn't allow it. But, had he not played basketball, I'm guessing something working with kids, most likely.
That would have made. I could
he was really good with kids.
Maybe a coach. I mean, he seems like he would have been.
Possibly, because he certainly knew the game well enough, and that's another possibility for sure.
So, Mike, I guess so much of your time was spent with Kenny. You're gonna have some more time freed up here. Do you have any plans how you're going to change things around for Mike Henry?
You know what? I was thinking of that driving home this morning. It's been so tied up for so many years, and so a friend of mine called me and I said, what am I going to do now? Not driving to see him or take care of him, or whatever, and it's going to be a huge change for me, obviously. I'm going to miss him tremendously, and trying to figure it out myself now. I'm really into photography and been doing that. I'm, trying to grow that kind of semi-professional with that. I really like to, put more time into that personally and, hopefully professionally with my photography and, just see what's out there. It's going to take a while to settle into a new routine and figure this all out. But, definitely stay busy. And, like I said, with the foundation, we still want to keep that going. I've already talked to Vince Perkins and Marty Gallagher and Michael Payne and Lon Olenzak are coming on, helping us out a lot, kind of board members. And we have some plans in the works. Like I said, we have this game coming up and definitely doing the golf outing in July in Storm Lake again. And looking for some new projects, and he said maybe we can team up with the university. Hopefully maybe get a sponsor, somebody can help us do some bigger and better things. But whatever it'll be in Kenny's name, and hopefully we can help a lot of people.
I've actually had 2 people reach out, want to know about can they still purchase Kenny Arnold T-shirts?
Yes, they can. You can go to our website, www.kennyarnoldfoundation.org. We have shirts there, a lot of information about Kenny and our organization and things like that. Please check the site out. And we'll be adding some new things. Obviously now with this happening with Kenny, we want to pay tribute to him and We like to ask if, anybody wants to share stories, anything like that, you can share them there. And I know a lot of people would love to, see what other people thought about him. And I know the players will be going on there. I've reached out to some of them and asked them to share their thoughts on there. So hopefully, in the next, few weeks as time goes by, we'll have a lot of good Kenny stories on there for people to see. And I know he motivated so many people, with the way he was and the things he did, and we certainly want to keep his honor going.
Mike, what did you learn the most from Kenny through all this struggle? Is there any one or two things that stuck out the most about, because you've always talked about how he inspired you so much.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just how to live life. Even though, by, I guess, most people's standards, it wasn't a great life because of his health issues, he got the fullest of life he could have out of it. He didn't complain about anything. It was just, hey, this is what I was dealt. How can I make the most of it? And I think that was the one thing. Like I tell people, I can't have a bad. I don't care what I'm going through or whatever. All I have to do is think about what he had to deal with, and any problems I have are relatively minor in comparison. And I think that's probably the biggest thing, from a day-to-day standpoint perspective, and just to make the best of your situation, whatever that might be.
Is it fair to say, as close as you guys were in college as a Final Four team and whatever, that this has brought you guys even closer together, you players?
Oh, for sure. We were close at that time, and I think we would have been close no matter what. But this has definitely helped us stay close because everybody cared about Kenny so much, and guys were always calling to check on him. He called me, and we all stayed in touch. Hey, what can we do to help him? How's he doing? How can we help each other out? And that's what I said, many times, that's one of the most fulfilling things that, we all have stayed so close over the years. Just a great, great group of guys, not just basketball players. And, a lot of that credit goes to Coach Olsen, recruiting great people as well as players and the staff he put together. I've heard from literally just about everybody that we played with in the last couple of days. And, that's been really nice that, we can all kind of get through this together and everything. So, I would say that's the biggest thing.
So now you're waiting to hear from Kenny's family on the service. Obviously, they'll be in the Chicago area, I assume, right? You think it'll be sometime
this in Chicago. It's just we're trying to see what day. I'm hoping, what we talked about, depending on when he passed, as we had talked about a little bit earlier in the week, it'll probably be Thursday or Friday, okay. I'm guessing. I'm not sure time, but we're hoping Thursday, and then, the guys could get in here, because I know all the players will be coming, and then, we can get back to Mason City to do the game for them, because we felt like, obviously his passing is, more important, but, it'd be a great way to pay tribute to him. I don't think he would want that to stop. And, we as players can be with the fans, which is important to us. Like I always say, anytime we can get together and thank the fans for all of their support over the years is something we want to do. That's the biggest thing. And, with it being for Kenny in the organization, we certainly want to keep that going if at all possible. So I'm hoping we'll know in the next, either later today or tomorrow.
Okay.
And, I'll certainly let you know, and we'll post it on social media and let everybody know.
And we will definitely update anything you need updated on the radio in these next couple of days.
That.
Yeah, whatever we can do to help. That. And, I thought back to that the Kenny Arnold tribute game. Other than the fact that they lost to Illinois,
yes,
that was such a neat. I still can't believe they lost to Illinois. They needed Kenny in that game. That's what they need. But
exactly.
It was
He was just the ultimate team player, and like I say, he was so calm and collected. He just made everybody better, and it wasn't flashy or anything. It got a lot of attention, but the results spoke to themselves. And
did he ever get mad on the court?
Up the stat sheet.
Did you ever see him get nose to nose with another player? Did he ever lose his temper on the court that you can recall?
Not really. You know what? He wasn't to trash talk anything. He just went out and played that much harder and beat him.
Okay.
It wasn't he wouldn't talk or anything like that. He just go out and kick your butt, basically.
And Ronnie was the same way.
Give it that look.
Ronnie was the same way.
Exactly. Neither one of them were trash talkers, but they were competitive, and they just turn it up that much more and just go beat you. They weren't about talking; it was about doing, and they always kept their composure and all of that. But they always won. They always won.
And wasn't Kenny? He was a legitimate 6'3", 6'4", about 6'3", wasn't he, Mike?
6'3", yeah.
Okay,
6'3", and pretty solid too.
Yeah.
I think he was stronger. Like Coach Olson always teased him, he had that bubble butt.
Yeah, he did.
It didn't look like he was the greatest athlete, but he was extremely quick, and obviously so was Ronnie. And I think Kenny kind of surprised people. You looked at him, and he didn't look as quick and athletic as he actually was, and he'd blow by people, and he had all the moves, and again, keeping his composure, could finish, and just made the right decision every time.
I think he also used that butt. I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
He would use that to create space, to post up.
Yep.
I mean, he used his body. Yeah, he was just a
definitely
just a hell of a player. And like I said,
yeah,
Tom,
very crafty.
I loved watching that team play, but Kenny was such a joy to watch, and Ronnie Lester was such a joy to watch, and no Iowa team has come close to it since.
No, which is
no, and on the one hand we're proud of that, but we're ready for somebody else to step up and take that mantle. Also, we pull for the current guys, and want them to do well, but. As each passing year goes by, it kind of makes what we did that much more special.
It does.
And can't believe we're coming up on 40 years with a Final Four team, and it was 40 years this year from the Big Ten championship team, and we're really proud of those accomplishments. But a bunch of guys were talking the other day, and as proud as we are of those things, I think we're proud of each other as teammates and people. We certainly don't put that aside, those basketball accomplishments. But, when we get together, we tell people we're always talking about time in the locker room, in the dorm, or who did this or that, or, we've been together with Kenny and things like that. And it's seldom about, on the court things, although we're, obviously proud of those things. But, just proud of the people that, we had a chance to be teammates and friends with, and Kenny's a big part of that.
Just so our listeners know, just Kenny away from hoop, what kind of music did he love to listen to? Do you remember what were his favorites in college?
Oh, God, he was a big Parliament Funkadelic fan. he wore Parliament out just over and over. If you ask any of the teammates, they will all say they got so sick of hearing that, because he would put a record on and just leave it on, like repeat, basically.
That is
he was something else on that.
Nike, and I know you will do this. It's up to us to keep Kenny's name alive and just to keep him as part of this tradition, and for these young people that don't know much about him. And that's what I know you will do that. I think that'll be part of your mission.
No, that's probably going to be my new life mission with, like you said, this extra free time. He's just such a special person, and I think the way he lived his life is the way we should all strive to do it. Like I said, you take it as it comes. You don't complain, and just do the best you can and try to help other people. And, I think if all of us can do just a little of that every day, the world will be a better place. And, I think that would be a great tribute to Kenny. I know he had that effect on all of us, as teammates and friends. And, something we would definitely like to share with other people.
Well, Mike, and you've certainly been over and above one of the best friends that could ever be with what you have done for Kenny over the years. And
I tweeted this earlier.
Just amazing.
I tweeted this a few minutes ago before we went on air, Mike, that everybody needs a friend like Mike Tree Henry. I respect so much of what you did for Kenny.
I tell people that, all the time people say that a lot, because, I'm around him a lot and, I've been there for him. But, I also tell them I was lucky to have him as a friend, because like I said, I learned, as I said, so much from him, life perspective, and, he helped me just as much, in his own special way, and all of us teammates. And, it was just a shared experience that I'm so blessed to have been a part of and, share it with my other teammates and coaches. And, like I said, we want to share with other people and, so they can see that effect. I think that's kind of, as we talked before, the teammates for life concept, a lot of that's because of him and the things he did. And I also want to thank all of you guys for all the support pack, because, through your article that kind of got this whole thing started. Got Marty Gallagher involved. He found out about it, and everything just took off from there. And you guys having us on the station to promote our events and talk about Kenny and everything. I want to say again, thank you for all you all have done. Also,
it was our privilege to help.
Absolutely, and when you get closer to the golf tournament, we'll have you on again to talk about that and help promote that as well.
Yes, Mike.
Okay, no, I certainly appreciate that. I will definitely be staying in touch with you guys, and to all the fans, thanks for all the support over the years. It meant a lot to Kenny, and I would share the stories that you all sent on Facebook, email, or whatever, and he got a big kick out of that, and helped him stay connected to Iowa. He's a proud Hawkeye, and loved the fans, and it really kept him going over the years.
Okay, well, Mike, listen, we appreciate you coming on. I know this is a tough time, but God bless, and we will be in touch. And like I said, if you have any information that you want to share, just please reach out to me.
Okay, will do, Pat. Thanks again.
You bet.
All you Hawkeye fans, thanks again, and look forward to seeing you all soon.
All
Thank you, Mike.
Wow. Should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break then. Thank you,
want
guys.
me to hit the...
Yeah, why don't we? We'll take a break. We'll be back.